Welcome to Unbordered. This time we are going to be looking at 50 curious and interesting facts about Kenya. Stay until the end to discover all kinds of impressive facts. And without further ado, let's start with the video. When the country was colonized in 1920, it was baptized by the English with the name of Kenya, in honor of Mount Kenya, the second highest mountain in Africa. It was a colony of the United Kingdom from 1920 to 1963. The official languages of Kenya are English and Swahili. The predominant religion of the country is Christianity, with 85% of the population practicing it. The most popular drink in the country, along with beer, it is the tea in Swahili that is called chai. And almost half of the population lives below the poverty line. It drives on the left due to the influence of the United Kingdom. In Kenya, it is still customary for the groom to pay the bride's family with cows, and legally he can marry multiple times and have multiple wives. In Kenya there are 50 national parks and reserves, the largest being Tsavo, the most popular the Masai Mara, ideal for safaris. The big 5 inches was what hunters used to call the most difficult animals to hunt: lion, elephant, leopard, rhinoceros and buffalo. Today, hunting is prohibited in Kenya. In a village called Umoja, no men like to protect the rights of women. There live women victims of abuse. The first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize was a Kenyan. Wangari Maathai became the first African woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. During the last 3 Olympic Games, Kenya has won, thanks to its athletes, 42 medals. Touching a child's head is a symbol of blessing. It has the largest desert lake in the world. The Maasai, one of the most amazing tribes in the world, famous for their rites and dances, that lives between Kenya and Tanzania. Safaris in Kenya have become one of the most attractive activities to do in the African country. Kenya is one of the 3 countries that has shores to Lake Victoria, considered the largest in all of Africa and the second largest freshwater lake on the entire planet. During a wedding, the father of the bride will spit on her daughter on her head and chest before she leaves for good with her husband. This curious custom is carried out by the Maasai. In Maasai culture, spitting is a way of keeping evil spirits away, so when a father spits on his daughter, he is actually giving her his blessing and wishing her the best fortune in the world. Tourism is the country's largest source of income. There are approximately 70 tribes that live in the country. Literacy is 85.1%. Art runs through the veins of Kenyans. Reciting poems, singing and telling legends are activities deeply rooted in the culture of this country. The 14 falls on the Athi River are one of the highest and most vertiginous waterfalls in all of Africa. Compared to its neighboring countries, Kenya is a very stable country, which is why it receives many migrants as refugees. Kenya has only 2 seasons throughout the year: a rainy season, characterized by flooding in valleys and savannas, and a dry season, obviously characterized by drought. Mombasa is listed by tourists as one of the most beautiful cities in the world, surrounded by the Indian Ocean and positioning itself as the most important port in Kenya. A superstition says that if the palm of your right hand itches, it means that you will receive money. Another superstition says that if you accidentally bite your tongue while talking or eating, it means that someone is talking about you. Kenya is the home country of the father of former US President Barack Obama. Typical Kenyan food is quite a gastronomic experience, but the quintessential dish is ugali. In Africa, football is a much admired sport, and having a son who is a good footballer and has the opportunity to travel to Europe can be a way out of poverty for your family. It is a democratic country, and every 5 years a new candidate is elected. Nairobi is the capital of the country and has a population of 4.6 million inhabitants. If you want to ride an ostrich, you can do it in Kenya. Plastic bags are prohibited, and not only that, their use carries very high fines. Approximately 38% of the flowers sold in Europe come from Kenya. 1 million people are concentrated in Kibera, living in rooms made of sheet metal, without any type of sanitation or access to water. Dabad is a settlement about 100 kilometers from the border with Somalia, where 329,811 refugees live. Kenya has 536 kilometers of coastline with some beaches, many of them worthy of a postcard paradise with their blue sea and white sand. If you want to greet a Kenyan, just say Jambo. It is the most common greeting. More than 60 languages are spoken in the country. Most local Kenyans work in agriculture. Coffee is one of Kenya's most valuable exports. Although it is very common to find Kenyans in Western clothing, their own way of dressing is different. Shuka from the Maasai around the shoulders, waist, neck of people. The population of Kenya is 53 million people. Kenya is the 68th economy in the world by volume of GDP. Life expectancy falls in Kenya to 61.43 years. The average number of children per woman is 3.4. Kenya is home to the largest airport in East Africa, the Jomo Kenyatta National Airport, located in the capital, Nairobi. Kenya has never experienced a major social unrest event and is a politically stable country. Tourism is on the rise, and the future looks increasingly bright for many Kenyans as the country's economy continues to grow. Tell us what fact caught your attention the most. We will be reading them below in the comments. Thanks for staying until the end and supporting the content. That helps us a lot to continue creating content for you. And without further ado, this was Unbordered, and we'll see you in the next video.